Over the past few weeks, I built a home phone system. So my overall goal is to build something freakable, retro, and fun to play with so people in 2024 can learn what it was like to hack phone systems way back in the 1980s. And the more honest reason is I am hopelessly obsessed with phones, and this is my way of scratching that itch and justifying all of my stupid purchases. Over the past few years, I've collected a number of retro phones. Garage sales, antique stores, eBay, you name it. If it used to be the property of the phone company, chances are I want it. And the culmination of that is what you see here. But what is it? The big old Panasonic box is something called a PBX, or Private Branch Exchange. It allows you to wire a bunch of phones together and place calls to them, or connect out to a central office for any external calling. But this brings up an interesting question, which is, what the heck is a central office? When you place a phone call on an analog phone system, your call needs to be switched. Your phone connects to a central office where the telephone switch is located, and way back in the day, this is where an operator would have physically connected your phone line with the phone line of the person you're calling. Based on the number you dialed, your central office is going to connect you to a tandem office, basically just another big old telephone switch that routes between smaller telephone switches. They bounce your call around through any of the in-between tandem offices, and eventually it reaches your destination central office. They actually connect the call to the end customer you're trying to reach, and bam, phone call made. Now, why is this cool? Because this is where most phone hacking happened. Exploitation of the central office switches, manipulation of the phone line itself, spoofing tones to the phone switch. The phone system was a total Wild West in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But it's 2024, and that's not how phones work anymore. These days, most phone systems use voice over IP or VoIP. VoIP systems are not as fun, at least from a historical perspective. Well, it's not quite the same. You can think of VoIP roughly like a Discord call. Your voice is captured digitally, turned into packets, transmitted over the internet, and decoded as audio data on the other side. Congratulations. Now the person you're calling gets to hear this. As someone who grew up with the internet, but didn't grow up with analog phone systems, the analog phone system seems like a way cooler beast to play with. And that falls back to my overall mission. My goal is to recreate a type of vulnerable 1980s-ish telephone network and let other people experiment with how phone phreaking historically worked, but in a safer and more legal fashion. But as they say, you need to walk before you can run. So my mission over the last month has just been getting this thing online. This is a Panasonic KXTA624 PBX, and it allows for the connection of up to 16 different phones or computers and 6 central office lines. Basically just a mini phone switch. With this, I'll be able to hook up all sorts of phones, voicemails, and other shenanigans to allow people to dial in and mess with it. From there, I've got it wired through an analog telephone adapter and connected to a VoIP service. And I know, didn't I just complain about VoIP? Yes, but they've almost fully discontinued analog phone service where I live. I talked to all sorts of providers, and the only company who'd actually give me an analog phone line was AT&T at a cost of like $50 a month. So we're going VoIP mode. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot to see now, but soon I'll be able to hook up more fun stuff here and put the number out on my website publicly. That way people can dial in. You can expect more phone videos in the future, and I'd love to deep dive into some of the specifics of some of the old phreaking techniques and, show how they worked on my own phone equipment. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. My name is Tim, and this has been Every Medium.